Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Amari and Nawfal X Live broadcast, where we get into crypto, AI, gaming, and today we're going to touch on creator economies and what that means for you guys with a panel custom built to go over the subject. We got Zach, AGI, Eamon, Kayvon, and Amir here, but I'm starting with you, Kelly, to see what's on your mind today. It's good to see you. What do you think about when I say creator economies right now?
I feel like I wish this was around many years ago. I toured for years as a singer-songwriter. Did a lot of different content with basically, web development all the way back from the early 90s. I toured as a DJ, was a music director for W Hotels. And I was imagining this before I was even in the blockchain space. So I'm very excited about things like this that can empower creators, that can also incentivize the participation. We're at a very, very interesting intersection with blockchain, with assets you can make money on, but also make money in the ways you're participating and contributing to an ecosystem that you're in. So very excited to be on this one with the 3VO team. And of course, we have got a knockout lineup today with Zach and AGI and Kayvon, Amir, and of course, Eamon himself. And then Pulse, back to you. I do feel like the market's feeling a little exhausted right now in terms of the sentiment of the market in general. But to me, that's been in this market for several cycles. It's these moments, even in my own exhaustion in the market, I say, hey, man, this is when you make your bread. It's these moments when everybody's looking the other way or tired of it. So I think we're about to get a bit of a pop in this market that's going to shock some people. But we're going to talk about creator economy. So I'll throw that back to you, Pulse.
So whether you're an artist trying to distribute your work or maybe trying to connect with your fans, I think there's all these new ways that you're tokenizing these experiences with coins or NFTs and merch drops and stuff. But let's go around the room and meet everybody else and see what everybody else has got on their mind. Starting with you, Zach. It's good to have you. Thanks for making the time today. How are you?
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, Kelly, good to see you. Good to see everybody too. And yeah, excited about the conversation, excited about the markets. I do agree with you, Kelly. I think things are cooling off a little bit, but I think they're cooling off just to heat back up at some point here real soon. So yeah, just excited to be here and have a great conversation. So
thank you for taking the time. And AGI will never miss one where we're talking about anything agentic, man. How are you?
I'm very good. So we have a lot of action in AGI. Of course, we have NVIDIA and OpenAI, huge deal with Stargate and so on. So in AI, we've never had that kind of money. It's kind of historical in terms of money that is being invested right now in the infrastructure. So I'm sure that that AGI will need the blockchain to express itself and so on to create the creator economy, but for AGI agent. So I think it's going to be huge. So I think it's coming very fast.
Yeah, the future of entertainment is very likely AI, and there's trillions of dollars flowing in through that and other places. I appreciate you being here. Eamon is also keeping his eye on things. How are you, sir?
We're doing great. If you want to talk about the market, I mean, we've been through this 2021, right? We've been through this on the downside when everyone was tired of why are we going down? I mean, it's part of the cycle. But I believe that we're at the gates of something awesome. We're talking about institutional adoption at mass scale. We're talking about retail adoption also at mass scale. So plenty of optimistic about. We have a very interesting topic with the value creator economy that we'd like to share, and we see this as the evolution of the creator economy into something way bigger. Let's call it a conversion between the gig economy and the creator economy. Yeah, we're super excited to share more about where we see the markets going.
That's a good way to put it. Gig economies make a lot of people money, and that's a great way to blend the two together. So that'll be a great topic. Kayvon, how are you doing? We appreciate you taking the time.
Cheers, man. Thank you so much for having me. I mean, it's a very interesting topic, very dear to our hearts and very relevant because of what the AGI, my friend there, is doing to the world, which is changing the economy. And I think in near future, everyone's going to think of traditional employment the way that we think of phone landlines, and these new models of work are going to be the replacement.
I agree. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are leaning on these types of things in the future to make their income. So it'll be a great topic. Amir, we appreciate you pulling up from Own App. What's on your mind, man?
Hey guys, how you doing? It's exciting times right now. And I think that the creator economy and blockchain, decentralized systems tokenization are a match made in heaven. All right, everything that you really want to, nurture when it comes to the creator economy, from, the ownership of things down to the monetization of things, down to tracking monetization pathways and all that stuff. It's just a match made in heaven. So as you guys know, OwnApp, of course, I'm heavily invested in that space, creator economy all the way, and blockchain all the way. And to the market, I think the market is pulling back a little bit. But if I'm being honest, I think it's the big dogs who are making it pull back so they can get more for the big pop to come. So that's what I think.
Well, I want to ask Kelly about that, because Kelly mentioned things are cooling off, and Zach said he said the same thing, but that he feels like it's going to come back. And I rely on Kelly for questions like this. Kelly, what's one thing that's going to help keep me bullish today? Because I could go doom and gloom real quick. What's on your mind? What's one thing for me to look at?
I mean, I'll give you two things, and they're very correlated with Bitcoin's price and thus the crypto market. The global liquidity is going parabolic, absolutely mooning. The price of gold is gone. I mean, in my lifetime, the price of gold has gone from $42 an ounce to $3,800 an ounce. And what we're seeing in previous cycles is gold. Let's forget global liquidity. Gold itself, when you see these large increases in price action on the valuation of gold, it tends to always front run that large move of what we've seen in Bitcoin. Similarly, like what we're seeing in global liquidity. Now, those are two things. However, I would say a major component outside of these, which I can't get into every one of them, is the overwhelming litany that keeps stacking up daily in bullish favor of a bullish outcome into the future forward projections for Bitcoin and the digital ecosystem, from changes in legislation, from the talking points on mainstream media, to what we're seeing with the appetite. Remember, assets prices are relevant to supply versus demand. Bitcoin has that best narrative in the history of any asset with the cap supply, and we're seeing exponential demand come in every day. So you ask why 2 days ago we had $1.47 billion worth of Bitcoin listed as being purchased from major players out there, and yet the price is falling. Well, why would that be? I think that goes back to what Amir just said a second ago. I do think there's some whale games going on. I think there's some market maker games going on. And when you're looking at a bull trend, you've heard it before, but the trend is your friend until it ends. And we're not seeing anything that suggests that we're necessarily near, like immediately like warning signs that we're near a top. So I would say follow the data, follow the money. Money has been saying, hey, this stackingness is something we need to be very focused on right now. The fear, when you get these mass fear signals in the market, it has, especially this last year and a half specifically, has been an overwhelming good buy signal. So that's what I would say.
The focus on global liquidity is an interesting one, because I think a lot of people would miss that. Thank you for mentioning that. And Zach, I want to ask you, since you said you think things are primed to come back, are you bullish Q4? What's on your mind, or what's got you feeling that way?
Yeah, I'll focus on one of the things Kelly said is just the institutional demand. This cycle's so much different than last go around back in 2020, 2021, where it felt like you could just be blindfolded, throw a dart, and hit bullseye because it was so retail driven. There was so much FOMO there. But I'll go as to say I don't think we're going to see that level of retail come back in the market. Similar to that. I mean, I think some will. The smart retail will come. I think the retail that's coming in now are a lot of the retail coming in from the traditional finance world because of the regulatory things that are unlocking. People feel comfortable. So you're seeing people with big money on the retail side come in. And I think the institutions are just getting started. We saw what they've done with Bitcoin. They're starting to do that with Ethereum. And just like crypto cycles go, that should trickle down. And I think if we get some of these ETFs, out, some of the big deadlines coming up in mid-October all the way into early November, that could also spark, some rallies, I think, in addition to hopefully a couple, more rate cuts as well, that obviously provides more liquidity. So I'm excited. I think this is a little cool down. It's just an accumulation phase, in my opinion. The bigger trend, right, when you zoom out, still looks very, very good. So excited about Q4.
Yeah, you got a lot of the same things that Kelly said. Amir, go ahead, because you were the third one to say the same thing.
I want to add something to what Zach just said. I think that when it comes to the market, the crypto market itself, it's less and less dependent on the retail. It's the institutions, man. It's like people don't even understand that the vast majority of BTC is already institutionalized. All right. Okay. So what are we talking about here, right? So the retail is going to be less and less important. It's going to be probably in a very short amount of time, so that the entire market is completely under wraps with institutionals, right? And they're going to be product ETFs and everything else. It's going to trickle down more granular and granular to more consumer kind of compatible financial products based on BTC and Ethereum and everything else, right? I think this is what's happening here right now, same as it happened to traditional finance and banking hundreds of years ago. You know what I mean? And it was the big families, the kings and all those kingdoms who had the money, right? And then they created that system, right? And it trickled down to everyone having a personal checking account, right? And I think the same thing is going to just happen to crypto. Yeah.
Guys, if you allow me, I apologize for the earlier connection problems. Just to emphasize a point on what Amir is saying. I mean, just think this card analogy, right? Like, you know, when we talked about 30 years ago, it still had lots of room to growth, because why? You know, every single person around the world will have a card. Think about when Bitcoin or crypto in general becomes a payment method in your local store. So we have ways to go, ways to get down this amazing technology to the end consumer. And I think there is a gap here where, you know, between, we know that the institutionals are on board, we know that they're adopting, but how can we democratize this accessibility, right, to this financial freedom, financial empowerment to the average Joe, to the normie, that, you know, your neighbor, your grandmother. And I think that would be a very interesting challenge that to tackle, where there is a gap in the market. And I think, you know, projects like us at Trevo are trying to tackle that.
It feels like this summer, a lot of people tried to fill that gap with stable coins in my mind. They were trying to convince me that stable coins were going to be what onboarded the masses and stuff, but I don't think that's going to be everybody. I do think there's other ways that people come on. Kayvon, what do you think about that? Because everybody promised me stable coin summer, and it's officially fall now. So what am I supposed to be watching now?
So I think it's pretty easy. Look around. What happens in the day-to-day of a typical consumer, right? What the people that we categorize as consumer, they consume, they interact with goods, with gadgets, with physical stuff, and with it's not finance, so that we want to decentralize it all the time. It's not just like, oh, I want my gold to go up. It's just like, I bought this dress and I'm going to like participate in a wedding tonight. Can we hook in there? Can we attach to day-to-days of the consumers is the big front. I don't think, again, I've said this before, being an alternative to some existing thing is a losing game. If we are just replicating existing stuff, then we're not competitive. If we are putting something new experiences, new ways to interact with the world, then we're going ahead.
Yeah, no, I just want to touch your stablecoin situation, and Kayvon, good points. I think when it comes to stablecoins, guys, you know, anyone who's interested in stablecoins should pay close attention to Ethereum, because why? Well, most of them are based on Ethereum. All right, so that's the thing. People are like, okay, there's this stablecoin, gold-backed stablecoin. Most of them are based on Ethereum EVMs, right? So if you are into that jam, pay attention to what Ethereum is doing, okay? And I'm very actually bullish about Ethereum, and I see it way underrated as of now.
Yeah, I think we got into that. We got into sort of our own self-trap in terms of the people that have been in crypto the last couple of years, and some of the new people coming in as well, seeing some gains that people have made, how fast it's happened. And of course, that just got overwhelmingly perpetuated with the token deployers like Pump Fund and Bonk Fund. And I'm not saying those are good or bad or this or that, but it has affected, I think, the psychological expectation people have in this market that crypto is just a speculator's asset, whatever it is. And in reality, I think all of us that are on this panel also understand that there is speculation involved across the niches within this asset class. But this is also an overwhelming change to the infrastructure layer of the world. Stablecoins are a good point about that and how these things are going to be integrated. But then going on to Kayvon's point, I think about like sub-Saharan Africa and other areas in the world with I don't want to say second and third world, but less established economies, where I know that they've been trading phone minutes as a currency. And so that also bred to a very easily sort of transmutable scenario where Bitcoin's becoming a very highly transacted currency within their ecosystem because it's in that same sort of premise that they were already participating in. It has to do with being unbanked. It has to be a lot of different things that are happening there. Also, the ease of storing your capital, not having something somewhere where somebody can come into your house or your hut and take your capital, take your whatever you're storing. Whereas in the West, I think we have this overwhelming hubris where everybody argues on spaces that Bitcoin is a store of capital. Why would you use this as a transactional currency? It's not for that. Well, we are 350 million people in a swath of 8 billion people out there. This can be used as both. It can be used as any of these. But then we have all these other currencies as well that people, and again, I think this is the stupidest name that ever got attached to this asset class, cryptocurrency. It should be digital assets or crypto assets or crypto infrastructure because they play different roles. So people think just because a token's there, the rise and fall in price is directly related to the rise and fall of the value that company's trying to build into, or the infrastructure that will expand in the future of what that value is. So I think there's a lot of learning and ignorance to bust through within the crypto ecosystem, but I couldn't be more excited. Is it frustrating right now? Because even as I'm saying these things, I look at certain coins, I'm like, why aren't you going up? Where's my number go up technology? Then I remember, patience, young Padawan, patience. You got to pick your battles and do your diligence and stack in. But Zach, I know you're hosting your show on a daily basis. You're dealing with a lot of interactions with other, audience members and people throughout the space. What would you say to this development that's happening, but also this other aspect where people can potentially participate in this economy? I mean, where does your mind go with this?
So my take is, and you got my brain going, Kelly, for sure. The way I'm looking at the market right now as a whole, I feel like there's three markets in one. There's the Bitcoin market. There's the invest with the institutions market. And then there's the retail degen market, right? So that's kind of how I'm looking at it now. It's very parsed out. And guess what? I want to play in all of those markets. So I try to leave no stone unturned. But I also, tell my viewers and listeners, you got to look at things for what they are, right? You can't just go full port into a meme coin. Allocating a small percentage, 5% of your overall portfolio, have fun. You're going to the casino, see what happens, right? But what I'm really trying to do with the bulk of my portfolio now is trying to front run the institutions, trying to see where they're going to go next. And RWA, right? That sector, I think, is where the institutions are going to go next, in my opinion. AI, I think it's very, very early still for AI. We've seen little subtle pops in the AI crypto sector when NVIDIA's exploded here and there, but we're very early there. This whole perp DEX, pop that we're seeing, could it be a fad? Maybe, but guess what? I'm there while it's hot, and we'll see how it plays out. But I think there's clearly three markets. It's Bitcoin. It's then you've got to allocate and front run the institutions, whether that's layer ones, RWAs, AIs, however you want to look at that. And then if you want to go play in the in the playground, have fun, but don't lose all your money.
So what Kelly said got me thinking. AGI, is it messed up that we call it currency at all? Should it just be referred to as software? Is that tripping up your average retail user?
Well, I didn't hear the question fully, but it should be digital asset, I think. What is important is to give any sentient being the ability to transact, just like human beings are doing. I think what is important is to empower people, to empower sentient beings. And digital assets or tokens, and they have many functionality, because if you have a token, it's important that you are able to burn it, for example. It gives you some function. So the more functionality you have to your digital asset, can be an NFT and so on, the more the AGI agent will be able to do. So digital asset with some kind of functionality, I think it's very important. And I think digital assets like tokens, it's very important to give AGI agent the same capabilities like in society as we have as human beings. And this is truly important if we want them to be able to empower us to deliver some work and so on. And with the amount of money that is invest right now in AGI. I think if we can harness that kind of amount of compute power to deliver some kind of work, some kind of utility, some kind of empowerment for people, I think it's going to be very transformative for people and for the blockchain. I mean, you look at the amount of money, 500 billion in terms of AGI, kind of in the last few weeks. If we can bring that on the blockchain and multiply it by kind of 20 and so on, and I think it will generate a huge amount of demand for the blockchain, for the digital asset, and so on. And I think it's going there because it's the only place it can go. So yes.
Yeah, no, I want to add to that. To me, look, there are essentially only two categories of digital assets. There are structural ones that you need on an infrastructure level, like Ethereum, for example, even Bitcoin to some extent. They are institutionalized over more and more over time. And the second part, these are the structural ones, are the utility ones. And the utility ones better be backed by something real. If they have a viable economic, mechanism in place, that asset, that token can actually grow in value, stabilize itself, and create a flywheel effect over time to gain, to be attractive to the world. This is the only way I see it. Everything else, I gotta be honest, I don't take serious. Like, I get meme coins, I get it. It's like, it's this senseless, whatever, fun picture. Let's all go gung-ho and let's see who's going to pull out last, and that one is going to lose, right? It's gambling effectively, right? I do understand the cultural impact that some of the memes had and still have. It's kind of interesting to see that some dogs can have such a cultural impact and people associating themselves with that on a very deep level. And I'm not ridiculing any of that, right? I do see that. But when it comes to crypto itself and decentralized systems, there is literally the functional, structural ones, and there is the ones with a strong, economically viable utility behind it that are better backed by something real that creates value over time, and it's not just a fad. It's not just something that we can speculate for a summer and then pull out, right? So that's my opinion on all that.
Well, one of where my mind goes with this too is because we're speaking pretty broadly about the crypto ecosystem. But what I find fascinating, and I know we're going to be diving into this when we get into the AMA with Threvo here in a bit, but we could talk about the concept around it. The fact that blockchain, the speed of transaction, the smart contract functionality, the trackability, the transparencyability, if that's a word, I think I might have just made it up. But also, the ability to create your own sub-economy within the economy based on attention, based on activity, based on audience, based on what you like, how you're participating in what way, how much, it's all these things combined. Do you think, Amon, do you think that, is the world ready for that yet? Is it just incumbent upon us to really build this technology, obviously, before it's overwhelmingly needed? Like, do you think that, because we see the activity on Instagram, on TikTok, there are select people that are making millions, and then everybody else is just basically getting all their time stolen from them. So do you think that there's that appetite is there once they realize?
Let me tell you what we see, the transformation that we see today in the economy globally, right? So we have something called the creator economy, but we also have something massive called the gig economy. Those people who have their different, talents put into action, and they are monetizing these talents. So with the value, that's their utility. That's what they bring to the table. So a token can represent a human being, right? It represents the utility, the functionality, the added value that he brings to life. We see a conversion going between the gig economy and the creator economy. However, the big problem is that today, so this conversion between the gig economy and the creator economy is basically turning everyone into a businessman. Everyone is a business. Everyone is his own influencer, right? I have a very interesting case here from southern Lebanon. I'm in southern Lebanon, and to tell you how this one influencer, out of just a channel that talks about decorating cars, built an empire. Why? Because he built himself a platform, and he built all of the other infrastructure, the shop, the merch, all of that stuff around his ecosystem. So our idea in Trevo is that we're going to go and basically go and bridge this gap between, having people having one platform. That's their community page where they have, they can customize their profile page so that they deliver, they want to have a merch shop, they have events, whatever value that you bring to the table, we want you to be able to present it via your customizable profile. We want to empower you with AI so that your workflow becomes faster. And, rather than you doing all of the work, basically hire a team of specialists. These are all agents that are working in the background. Get viral loops so that basically you go and tell the whole world your story, and make your most unique offering as a human being, as a professional, as the best pizza place in the world, as the best musician in the world. Make your most exclusive value going to your most loyal fans. How? Via tokenization. They actually get a key to your ecosystem, a resource that they can choose to trade if your value goes up. They can choose to spend if Kelly is doing awesome music. And I think that, I like to go into his exclusive tracks or his, private events. I will go and buy Kelly's token and spend it, burn it, give it to Kelly, do whatever is required from me, right? Because I do want to get access to that value. So essentially, if you want to talk about crazy economics, right, rather than having just the stable coins, right, or currencies like dollar, euro, whatever, let's all have our currencies and let's exchange our value as tokens, right, where the market decides if we have high demand and we are doing a great job, we're putting awesome value into the market. Well, let the market decide. Let supply demand mechanics apply here, and that's how you decide the value that you bring into the world.
Yeah, no, I love that. We're kind of seeing some of these things popcorn around the space in different ways, whether it's Base talking about tokenize everything, but then we also have other major, I'm talking juggernaut of social media companies like Instagram, for instance, or TikTok. Kayvon, do you think that the competitive nature, do you think that the tech companies are so entrenched with how they've done things that they're not going to merge into, I don't want to even call it this trend, but merge into this next technological evolution? Do smaller players have a chance, or do you think it's, because Instagram was nowhere and then it popped up out of nothing and was like the biggest thing. Same thing with TikTok, same thing with Snapchat. So do you think we'll see something like that in this other part of the economy, the crypto niche, coming up and displacing some of these?
I'm going to be that guy again. I don't think tech companies are doing that bad, really, to be honest, in terms of being integrated with the day-to-days of consumers. They're everywhere, right? I think, on the other hand, us, the crypto people, are not in the hands of everyone. So I think we have some catching up to do as opposed to the big tech companies. Just look, like we were just talking about it in the chat. Our pioneers didn't know shit about how the world works. Satoshi Nakamoto proposed Bitcoin as a peer-to-peer cash system. Then, Winklevoss brothers came over and claimed that Bitcoin is theirs. And now apparently it's Michael Saylor's. So we have all these gurus that come and claim our industry. And as you said, goes through trends like, oh, it's digital gold today. Oh, no, it's correlating with stocks today. Anyway, these are not things that normal people think about. Like when our other halves wake up from the good sleep, they don't think about candles. They think about other stuff in their lives. It's upon us to start actually taking the book out of the big tech's book and taking a page out of their book and start integrating with the day-to-days of people's lives and then transcend them. So it's very important that we don't be like Me Too movements. We are better. We have better infra by just having that Satoshi, or by Vitalik playing World of Warcraft and then inventing Ethereum. We have better tech. Just build with it.
So let me ask, Kayvon, are you saying that most of the people, at least let's say in the US or even around the world, aren't waking up on a Wednesday when the FOMC meeting is happening wondering what the tone of Jerome Powell is going to be? Are we in our own lonely island over here with that? You know, it's pretty crazy to think about. But
unfortunately, that's less than 2% of people, yes.
Oh, it's probably even smaller than that. But I'd love to get AGI's take on this as well, because, you know, I think is the more we talk about this intersection of AI coming in at the time of this, you know, this very quick, it doesn't feel fast, but it is a very quick deployment of this technology with blockchain. But then thinking about creator economies, thinking about all these things, obviously UI and UX is going to be of utmost concern in terms of either being a barrier or something that is a lot more intuitive in a way to get involved with and utilize. Do you think that AI is really starting to get deployed in these sectors of crypto the best way right now, or do you think that there's some pretty big strides on these on the development of these different UI and UX as these projects deploy?
Well, I think in terms of UI and UX, I don't see anything right now really happening, but I'm working on it. So I'm working on a solution that will empower people by making kind of the UI and UX kind of disappear. Like, what I would love is to have, people love ChatGPT. It says you have a box, you enter text, and you get something that is useful, most likely. What I would love is to have that kind of interface to the blockchain with AI also. That means that you can use the blockchain. It will be everything, every function, everything that you want to use a blockchain for. You will not see the blockchain. It will just be there as the infrastructure because it's robust. It's important for the incentive for the AIs and so on. But I think with AGI we can. I think people that have been coding the blockchain has not been mastering the art of coding the blockchain with AGI, maybe at superhuman level. And I think much thing can be done, much more can be done. And I'm working on that right now. So when I code on the blockchain, I'm trying to forget everything that has been done so far and start from scratch and just redesign the smart contract, the interface, the UI, UX, everything together, and make that in a way that will be extremely user-friendly for people. So everybody will be able to use it and don't even know that the blockchain is there. And,
I love that. Yeah.
And what I would love as a first demo will be to have an interface just like ChatGPT, that you have a text box, and from there you will be able to do what you want. You will have an agent or a population of agents that will be in a way that you don't even have to see it, but it will be transparent anyway on the smart contract and on the blockchain and so on. But it will do what you want to be done in a way that is reliable, robust, and everything that the blockchain offers, but with everything that the AI offers you also. I think if you combine the utility of the AI, the added value of the AI, the capability of the AI, with the traceability, the robustness, and so on of the blockchain, then you get something that is really useful. You get an agent, for example, that is reliable, that is also ethical. It will always respect your value and so on. And you will be able to enforce that. You will have a guarantee that it will do that from the beginning. And it will be extremely user-friendly.
So you mentioned that
I'm working on it right now.
Interface is very plain, but I think that's been their secret. I've had you on shows before where you've also mentioned that you feel like that's the case. I could see that people would rather interact with a blank chat box than have a complicated app to go through 5 windows and click bubbles back and forth. I could picture a banking app that you just open and it's like, how can I help you? And it's like, show me the balance on my, business account or whatever, and it's just going to do that type of stuff. So that's a really great point. I do think that the abstraction of everything is going to matter. We've had shows where we talk about this before, but the idea that you're going to have to hide most of this from most people is where we end up. Whether it's AI, they don't really care how it works, despite how cool you might think it is. Whether it's crypto apps, they don't really care what's happening on the blockchain. They just want to get there. And Kelly brought it up. It's like I always said, you don't want your taxi driver to show you how the engine works every single time you have to take an Uber ride. You just want to go. You just want to get there. And if it had to be like that every time, you wouldn't want to do it. It's the equivalent of approving transactions in GameFi. That was a big joke. Like every time you attack in a game, you have to approve a transaction. Everything has to be abstracted out eventually. And that even means in these creator economies, when we're wanting to interact with people, whether we're buying tokens because we like this creator or whatever, I do think there's a certain amount of abstraction that has to go in that too. You can't expect people to want to go into like Jupiter decks and buy tokens to support you. It's got to be easier. Pump Fund just came out with an app, right? Didn't they just come out with their own app? So you can see it all happening. Amir, what do you think when it comes to the abstraction that's going to be required for AI and for these creator economies? People don't want to see all the details, do they?
It is everything. Before I answer, there's two things that are going to be future proof when it comes to startups, to builders and everything. Number one, most and foremost, system thinking, right? If you know system thinking, how everything works, how you put it together. That is something that's going to be very, very hard to replicate for even very advanced AI systems, because you need to abstract in a human point of view. There's a lot of psychology involved and all that stuff. So systematic thinking is number one. This is super, super important to understand on that part. The second is design. Right. So it's the thing. Humans perceive things differently than the most advanced AI will do. Do people like that? There is culture, there's trends, there's so many things, the zeitgeist happening, and to convey all that into a user interface that is super powerful, but so simple, right? That's why my co-creator of OWN is Sarah Mick. She created Tinder, invented the swipe, right? And also Bumble. She's built the UX for OWN, right? That's why simplicity is key. That's why you don't have to learn anything about crypto, blockchain when you get to OWN. You're on a decentralized system. You don't even get it. Most of my users in the beta don't even know it. So all you gentlemen, what you just said is right on the money. We need to simplify the thing that the person doesn't have to think anymore. Zero learning curve. Just give them the tool and give them results as good as you can. I think that is super crucial. And onboarding Web 2 massively into Web 3 is the key, because once we have a critical mass of retail, of users, of people in the ecosystems, right? This is where the massive money, we think we had a lot of money coming into crypto so far. No, we have not. Compared to the world economy and everything that's been built out there by the big corporations in the Web 2 normie world, it's pennies on the dollar, right? But this is when we are shifting gears, when the mass adoption happens. But for that, we need killer apps. That's what I'm here for.
Every single button press is a lost customer in the process, is the best way to think of it. It's a little hurdle, but it really does make a difference long-term down the line. Eamon, what do you think about that, customizing to make sure that you're getting people as fast as they can through what they want? Because any linger time is a lost customer.
But absolutely, it's a funnel. The longer the funnel, you're just dropping people over. But I wanted to talk about something just along these lines in terms of prompts, right? If you go and ask anyone what a prompt is, no one knows. They treat it as they talk to Google, as their search engine. So one thing we're just adding into this abstraction, into just simplifying the whole process and removing any friction with the consumer, right? Think about everyone played games. Everyone under 40 played some sort of a game in their life, right? But if you go and tell them, here's a prompt, right? Try to get what you want from it. So they were gonna deal with it like Google. So what we are doing is gamifying the experience. So when you talk about agents, it's not just a boxes and lines of code. It's a cute avatar that represents, right, what that agent does, right? He's a musician. He might be looking like Snoop Dogg. He might be a politician. You might have a little Donald Trump there, right? So this will get it closer to the average consumer. Again, like, we are on a mission to democratize all of these tools that all of us enjoyed for at least the last 5-6 years, right? And bring them to our grandmothers, right? So we want to also remove this learning curve, right? Put everything in the background, abstract it so that it's as easy as your today's super simple banking app. so that your social experience as easy as Instagram, but get it all together, right? Get it all together, get it in a way where the user experience is self-explanatory, right? You go in, you have to click maybe one button just so that you figure out what you want. And if you want to interact in a conversational, it should be specific to, you know, the action that is required without having to go through a general prompt. And this is what, you know, one major element of what we are building at Trivo.
Eamon's out there doing work for everybody's grandma out there, trying to make sure they can get into Web3. It's like, I remember the first time I gave grandma a smartphone and had to hope that it would work. I would ask anyone in the comments as we transition to the AMA, leave me a comment if you remember specifically any time that there was an app that you actually bailed on, or maybe there was a game that it was too fumbly or something. Did you ever actually bail on something because the amount of clicks that it took through? Because I can think of games that did that to me through tutorials and stuff where I didn't want to do it. And I can think of apps where the sign-up process is just too much. I'd be curious. Leave a name in the comments, and I'm going to read through later and see if you guys have also found that true to be, that there are hurdles in abstraction. And let me know if you bailed on an app. But if you didn't get here in the beginning, it is 3VO's show today. Eamon is here from 3VO. And among the other things we've been talking about, some of it's been AI, but creator economy and stuff like that. But I'm going to leave it to him to tell you what 3VO is actually all about, because that's got to be the first question that we start with. Is I would want to know specifically from you, how would you describe 3VO and what you guys do? Is he frozen?
I think he is it's just so much alpha that the gears are turning. Yeah,
Eamon,
it's
did
all
you
you.
hear any of that, buddy? Amazing. Kelly, you can hear me, right? I'm not losing it, am I?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, you
Hey, Mom, can you hear me?
I can hear you right now. Sorry, I'm in the southern Lebanon, so the connection here is not the most stable, but we're trying to deal with it.
No worries. We're pivoting into this AMA now. It's you're on the stage. You know, everybody's been listening in, but let's pretend nobody's been here whatsoever, and just give us a brief elevator pitch. What is 3VO, and then we'll dive in and get some questions to look a little deeper under the hood.
Awesome. Well, we call it the new way we internet. Straightforward. On the front end, it looks like a social platform where the value creators and communities grow, earn, and connect together. All of this is powered by AI agents, by gamification, and by crypto. So what we are bringing to the table is the next internet stack built for value creators, with page builders, very customizable. You can basically select from different templates to suit to whatever niche that you have, whatever type of audience, with different functionalities, as we were mentioning earlier, AI agent and tools, crypto and tokenization, so that you can monetize your value and for transaction and growth loops. So four key components of 3VO. AI agents, as we were mentioning earlier, we're talking about, you know, these cute characters that you can train them. They can be your sidekick. They can help you out with automating your workflow, you know, and they can do things. For example, if you're a musician, and we're, you know, taking Kelly as an example, I can share my screen as well, guys, if you want it, but that's fine. Great, guys. This is our website. All of the links are there. By the way, super interesting what we are presenting. But yeah, so when we're talking about the AI characters, we're talking about, you know, if Kelly is a musician, imagine Kelly, anyone can do what do you call it? A collaboration with yourself. Here, example, Snoop Dogg. Instantly, you can make it token gated so that basically someone can, you know, pay with your own token, right? They can make a collab instantly with your voice, with your style, with everything that you train the agent to do. Create music, create video. This is the tone. This is the voice. This is the style. This is the right, everything that you train it. Then we have a set of AI tools that some are already available. We're talking about super easy tools that remove the prompt completely and basically give you AI in a very simple way. Think about, you know, being able to transform a super simple selfie into, you know, a glorious image made by a professional photographer, right? Simply by applying it as a filter in a scene, and boom, you got your image. Cloning your voice and being able to troll your friends, right? These super easy tools, or even tools where you can, with one click, put a link to an article, upload a document, and it will summarize it without having to put in the prompt how you want it structured. We just go and have different templates, and you can select the one that suits you. Moving on into
Well, I'd love to pause you. I'd love to pause you for a moment and backtrack just a second, because we're going to have people from all different aspects that are listening in, being crypto natives, and also people that are not. Also, people just kicking it off. You all are all about a platform for a value creator economy. Let's just back it up for a moment. What is a value creator economy for somebody that might not know what that means?
So this is the conversion between the gig economy. So gig economy, where you as a person are providing a service, right, and you're selling that service, and the creator economy, where everyone becomes a business by himself, right? A person becomes a business. So this person is responsible for building his own brand. This person is responsible building his own community and putting the value, whatever he does, whatever he brings to the table in this life, and he wants to get access to bigger markets online with all of these cool technologies. We are here to help. So this is what a value creator. You are a creator of value, not just a piece of content, or not yet that you create value that is contributing to this economy. So all of these are a set of tools built, on the front end on a very social platform. So you would think that you can, you are on an Instagram, just as a regular social experience, but the tools that are embedded natively inside of it, that's what empowers and makes us super unique. AI that is super easy, right? So you don't, I got criticized from you guys for talking about the grandma, but if we look at the average consumer worldwide, especially in developing countries, for God's sake, some of these countries are just getting smartphones. So they're just jumping into this wild world. I was showing templates from the image generator to one guy yesterday, how I showed him a picture next to a celebrity, and he was blown away how this is even possible. I'm like, bro, this is 2025. Like, we made a tool just so that you don't have to go through the prompts, and right. So people are blown away. We want to bring all of these tools, right, natively, directly to the people, not them going and understanding what our technology is, but us going to them, right, providing them with super simple and familiar tools, right? Because of the approach that we did with UX, with gamification. Literally everything is built on gamification mechanics. We see tokens as, think about life as in-game currencies. That's what tokens for us. And hence you see one of our products is the token creator, where anyone can go in and create their own token and token gate any of his services with his token, right? With the goal that you give your most loyal community your most exclusive value as an individual or as a business. We see great potential in the developing world. I came to Lebanon recently, and I saw, crazy what people are doing with social media and how they are building all of these, different shops and, offline events. So, we're looking at it and we're like, this is perfect, because this person can simply put in his profile. So let's say your main platform is X, the link that you have, rather than sending it to your website or to your Linktree, put threvo.me/your username. And there you can find the whole ecosystem of, the whole things that you provide as a person, right? Whether it is your merch that you want to sell, whether it is your content, whether it is your pictures, whether it is something funny, whatever value that you bring in, right? Whether you are a business, you don't need to go and build a website. Just come to Threvo, set up your account. Today, Threvo is, we are on 4 platforms.
Amen. Because you're just going on and on, buddy.
Sorry, brother. Sorry.
How does 3VO enable a value creator economy then? Is that one of the ways you're doing it?
With the tools that we provide. Like, think about you being able to open a shop, have your pictures, have your offers, have your own tokens. You have the tools so that you can push more marketing material. We have the tools so that you can understand the market and the analytics. We have the tools so that you can go and automate with AI agents. So it's a full ecosystem available on 4 platforms. Today we are live. Our primary product today is Trevogram. This is Trevo on Telegram. You can access it today. We had over 15,000 registrations in the last couple of weeks. We are number 2 on social, on Telegram mini apps. This is a product to showcase the power of Thrivo and to onboard users. Literally, there's one click, you get to the bot, and basically, boom, you are onboarded. You have an account on Thrivo. Next,
that brings up a good question though too, because I think there's a psychological barrier, psychological boundary. Sometimes people feel whether I am a creator or maybe I'm just somebody that's perusing the web. Who is Thrivo for? Is it obviously it looks like you're creating a number of tools here. Obviously, a lot of incredible AI integrations as well. So is this for an everyday person that's just cruising through online? Is it for somebody that already has a honed content sort of delivery process? Like, who is Thrivo for?
This is for the everyday person living in 2026. If you are in 2026, you should at least be able to use these tools. Otherwise, you are lagging behind as a person. Doesn't matter what you do. We put these tools in front of you. You can either come and be a participant, browse what's going on, see what other people are doing, what other people are putting out, or you can be a contributor and you can be a value creator. So you can be a value consumer or you can be a value creator. You are welcome. What we are looking for, ideally, we're looking for those who actually want to turn into a brand, right, via online. So crypto allows them to be cross-border with transactions. AI allows them to become way more powerful. And we're talking about native tools. So if you're that person, we'd love you to come try Thrivo, work with us so that we can, build the best experience possible. And if you are a consumer of value, well, you don't have to waste your time, because using the quest, you can go see what others are putting in value. You can gather points and get started instantly. Spin the wheel, win prizes. Your time is valuable as well. So rather than just doom scrolling for nothing, well, work with us to build the best platform in the world.
So why is this so important to do right now? You mentioned for users in 2026. Why is now the time?
Because today, those who are building value are building on broken platforms. 15% average monetization, 6 platforms. Imagine if you are a value creator today, you have an average of 6 platforms to deal with. You're one person. There's 24 hours a day. You have to sleep. You have to eat. You have to go to your gym. You have to see your kids. So how are you gonna succeed? The odds are against you. But if you have all of these tools that are available to all of us, right, you have way higher chances. So why 2026? Because the technology is ready. So for us, we are putting one product at a time. We want to introduce to the average consumer what can they do with crypto and AI. This is a tool in your hands. You can't tell me it is hard. It's as simple as possible. And if you feel it's a little bit hard, please let us know. We'll work out. We use the keep it simple, stupid approach, right? The more we take outside of the learning curve, the more people will feel at home. Oh, wow, this is pretty cool, right? I'm going to share it, right? Have all of these viral mechanics. I'm going to share it with my friend. We're going to troll each other, right? Or I'm going to go support my friend, buy his token, right? Say, look, I support you, brother. Give me access to this exclusive, t-shirt that you got, right? Or whatever, right? So we call it the new way we internet for a reason, right? We see this. I mean, today, the new way we internet is you transact with crypto. AI is part of your daily workflow, right? If you don't do that, like, what year are we, right? So it's the new way we internet. It's the way we consume internet in our phones, on the way we create, the way we conversate, the way we play, right?
So on that note, I'd love to ask, because we got, a lot of people tuned in now, and a lot of people will be watching this after we wrap this up. I do want to call out the website. It's the number 3, as just like you see in the top right-hand corner there, 3vo.me, 3vo.me. And you can also find more information at 3vo_me on X. But I'd love to ask you, how can people join 3VO? And I want to kind of add to that question beyond just how can they join? How can they get involved? But also a lot of platforms, a lot of different projects have some sort of early incentive structures and so on and so forth. Are there any of those that are in place to help drive community engagement and incentivize early adopters?
Absolutely. If you are on Telegram, it is one click away. We'll share the link in the comments here. You can find them on our website. Everywhere you go to Thrivo, you'll find it under Thrivogram. Thrivogram is our official mini app on Telegram. It's been doing awesome. Second on the Telegram mini app store. So you mentioned about the early adopters. Over the last 2 weeks, over 15,000 registrations, over 3,000 daily. Every day, people are on Thrivo, averaging over 20 minutes. So if you want to join Thrivo, the easiest way, get on the Telegram mini app, instant registration, and basically go in and do the tasks in the quest section. Super fun, super easy. You can, you get different currencies, you get cards, you get customizations. I don't want to call it a time waster, but we have people at night sitting in and spinning the wheel for hours because, we see the activity on the platform. So it is fun. It might be a little bit addictive, but it is a way where you can go in and you can, get tokens not only from Thrivo but from different partner projects as well. So you can explore multiple projects. You can meet the community, very passionate community that is growing by the day. One of the things why we were able to, we like to do a lot of growth hacking and organic growth. So because of our fanatic community, right, because of their referrals and they're inviting friends, right, we were able to do this, over the last 3 weeks. As soon as we released Thrivogram, the numbers were through the roof. So please, guys, do join Thrivo. Thrivogram is the first taste of Thrivo. A lot of interesting things to come. Thrivo Web, iOS, and an update to Android. We are also planning our TGE. So right now we're closing our strategic round for our private sale. Once this is done, we are going for TGE. We already got an exchange agreed, several launch pads, including tier ones. So the product is ready. Thrivo also, just to put that in mind, is going to be available initially on BNB, but we're going to be adding support for Ethereum, Base, and Ton. Each of the platforms, we're trying to go and basically cover the biggest networks in the world, and each blockchain has a better use case. So we're going to be everywhere. We're going to be the bridge. Lots of interesting partnerships in the way, lots of announcements. Stay tuned. Please follow us at Thrivo_me on X. Join our community, and Thrivogram. You don't want to miss that. You want to be early. You want to reserve your username now.
Mm-hmm. Great job.
That's a very, thank you, guys.
We appreciate you being here, man. Big things happening on BNB. It looks like you guys are going to be doing your TGE over there, so I hope everybody's ready and bridged. We appreciate you bringing the conversation here. We also appreciate Zach and AGI and Kevin and Amir for being here as part of our panel. These people all have X accounts, probably very similar to their name right here. Please go follow them. So they do shows, they make posts. You guys can go support them just like they came here to support us by being part of the panel. Guys, we appreciate you for being here. Eamon, thank you very much. And from Mario and the team of 200 plus people that put together the shows and let me and Kelly come have all the fun, we appreciate that you continue to tune into the roundtable and look forward to our next opportunity. Kelly and I say thank you. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.